5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Greetings, fellow barbarians. It is I, Alan Odinson, and this is the Barbarian Lounge podcast. Well, thank you guys and gals for joining me this evening. Pretty interesting week coming up here in the good old South. We've got technical difficulty here going on behind me. I don't know what's going on here. But we've had an interesting I would say probably an interesting 48 hours or so here in the South, because right now, if you talk to people on the East Coast, it's the end of days, right? Last report I heard about Hurricane Irma is that it now has sharks in it. Yes, that's right. It has reached a full Sharknado status, so everyone, please run for your lives. Now, we've been hearing this I've never heard the sort of freak out that we're having right now. I think everyone is whether they want to admit it or not, is having a little bit of post-traumatic stress from the events that happened in Texas. But I discussed that a little bit on the past couple shows, and a little bit more in depth on our members shows. So let me get a little housekeeping out the way real quick, and then I'm gonna jump into this content here real quick. Our website is thebarbarianlounge.com. That's thebarbarianlounge.com. Go there, check it out. There's a lot of different things on there. Got some articles on there. You can check out our store. We've got our awesome Thuggy Strangulation cords, 2 different styles, as well as some tourniquets and other odds and ends that you can get to help support this show while getting some cool gear in the process. If you haven't listened to our episode on Thug Life about our the Thuggy, you probably get a little more of an understanding of the symbolic nature of the cords that are offered there, but they are custom made, and they are flying out just as fast as they can be made. People really like them. A lot of people like that covert weaponry, and we're trying to, here at the Barbarian Lounge, our goal is to make strangulation great again. So check it out at our store at thebarbarianlounge.com. You can also go there and check out the donate button. Now, when you click on that donate button, you'll have a couple different options that you can choose to help support the show. One of those is a one-time PayPal donation, which is exactly as it sounds, really no explanation needed. You click it and you decide what you would like to donate. The other option, which is a recommended option, is to click on our the Patreon button there. That is our member site. Basically, how Patreon works is you pay on a per episode basis. So if you donate the minimum amount, which is $1 per episode, it'll end up costing you $8 a month. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, why is it $8 a month, Odinson? You only do 4 shows. Well, there's the perks and benefits of being a member. Not only do you get our 4 regular shows early, but you also get 4 exclusive shows a month that are only available to our members. They will never be posted anywhere else. You will never find them anywhere else. That's the only place you can find them. Right now, I believe we're up to 41 or 42 exclusive broadcast there. So if you even though I think this is show number 72, we've actually got well over 100 shows total if you count our members only shows. So needless to say, I can talk about some things on there that I don't like to talk about on the air. One of those is a lot of educational things. The last members only broadcast I did was setting up different cache locations for different purposes that you may deem necessary. We'll just use that terminology there. A lot of people really like that show, so you can go there, become a member, patreon.com/thebarbarianlounge. If you click on the donate button and click on that Patreon link, it'll take you right there. Become a member, help support the show, $8 a month, helps keep the lights on, it helps keep me fueled up in this fight. Also, I urge you to check out our sponsors. We've got several sponsors, one of which is Odinson Archery, OdinsonArchery.com, traditional bows made from non-traditional materials. Get all of your archery needs there. Traditional archery is making a dramatic comeback right now. I think people are getting that feel of the bow and the string in their hand, and it really offers a reconnection to the roots, reconnection to their ancestry, and people are desperate need of that right now. Desperate need to regain that wild side that is slowly but surely being bred out. Here at the Barbarian Lounge, we are not into domestication, and that is what the system wants. The system wants you domesticated like a pet. And that is not our goal here. We want you to embrace your wild side, embrace your primitive side, and one of the ways you can do that is getting into primitive archery. Once you get the feel of shooting and killing and hunting game the same way your ancestors did, I'm telling you, just opens the doors. It unlocks that genetic code in your own DNA system that allows you to really tap in to your roots. So check it out, OdinsonArchery.com. Other sponsor, Mitacon, MitaconUSA.com. They are there in Texas, as a matter of fact, and they're going through some shit right now, so Mitacon needs your support. I'm going to read this little liner here in my commercial voice. Mitacon, with a proper diet, supports the cell's fastest, most effective absorption of natural nutrients in each 250 milliliter bottle and sustains the body's mitochondrial generation of usable energy, key to producing ATP, the energy-rich fuel the body needs to achieve peak athletic strength, performance, endurance, and recovery. MitaconUSA.com. Yes, that's right. That's my commercial voice. It's the best one I got. You have to deal with it. But yeah, they're going through some shit down there. My boy Ben, he's going through some stuff right now. But hey, let me tell you this: despite what they're going through right now, Ben is still shipping out orders. That man, he's in his. Oh man, Ben, if I mess this up, you'll have to forgive me. But I want to say Ben is in his 70s, and dude has got more energy than I do. Ben is an amazing dude, let me just tell you. And he could be in his upper 70s, I'm not sure. I don't have my phone here. I would look at his age on his Facebook page. But Ben is a machine. He's constantly working, full of energy. You talk to the guy, man, you think you're talking to a 20-year-old. I mean, Ben is wide open, and he makes a great product. So check him out, MitaconUSA.com. Also, check us out Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., UCY.TV. Check us out there. Shows going on there, and there's a live chat room that is happening during the show. You can go and talk to other people about the Barbarian Lounge, talk about the show, tell them what you like, call me an asshole, whatever you want to do, that's the place to do it, UCY.TV. You can also find the Barbarian Lounge on iTunes, Stitcher, and all those other nice little things there. But the easiest way to keep track of the show, thebarbarianlounge.com. All shows are uploaded there, as well as our archives. We've just updated our archives and our interviews. The interviews now, man, we've got so many interviews up on there right now. I'm looking to get some more. I actually had a crash of my software. It's one of the reasons I need some donations, guys. You have to get good recording software, you got to get money. You have to pay out good money to get good recording software. I've got some interviews lined up. Once I got to get that fixed so I can get those other interviews up. But other interviews we've done. I mean, we've got Augustus Invictus, Brian Wilton, Stephen McNallen, two-parter with Ed Calderon that I just added. My boy Hannibal Kane is on there. James Keating, the Master at Arms. I mean, just amazing interviews. If you want to see more stuff like that, man, we got to get that software up. So please send your donations to us at thebarbarianlounge.com. All right, I think I've caught up with all of that stuff. I tried to rush through it. I hope that didn't sound like a bunch of gobbledygook. But so as I was saying earlier, right now we're in the if you're living here on the East Coast, man, it's the end of days, right? Everyone's freaking out. I have never in my life, of all the hurricanes, I mean, Hugo was the boogeyman around here in South Carolina. Hugo's been the boogeyman. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I slept through Hugo. I wasn't on the coast or anything like that. So it wasn't really too much of a fearful thing for me. I remember going to sleep probably about 11:30 and waking up in the morning. It was gone. Not a whole lot of damage, some limbs down and stuff, but it is what it is. But here in South Carolina, we got hit with we've had a couple of disasters over the past couple of years. 2 years in a row, about the same time, which is pretty crazy. We had two floods. One of the floods happened a couple of years ago, and this flood was not because of any hurricane or tropical storm or anything like that. It literally rained for days, nonstop. and it caused a horrendous flood here. It started, washed out many roads. My town was turned into an island, a literal island. All the roads in were completely, in and out, obviously, but, they were completely cut off because most of them were washed out by these floods. Unbelievable. And that was, there were people here that were needing the Red Cross to come in and give them meals and everything. And I've talked about that on the last show. My family's never done without. Most of the people that I know that are into the preparedness world, they were tested there and they all passed right through with flying colors. My network, they all did very well. Then a year later, about same time, hurricane come through, flooded us out again, washed roads out again. We were an island yet again. So, all these things keep rolling around. So, I kind of fall into this mentality where there's a certain level of preparedness that you attain, that you work for. And once that's achieved, man, most people panic because they're worried about what they don't have, right? We're going to have enough of this. We're going to have enough of that. And that's the furthest thing from my mind. When we spent today, me and my wife spent today, working in through some of our preps, to kind of going through things. And, every now and then you buy stuff and it just kind of gets tossed in and you have to go through and arrange things and get this and, check the numbers here, how many of these we have, what the expiration dates, does this need to be rotated out, how much water do we have, yada, yada, yada. And I love doing that. I hate like cleaning the house and cleaning shit up, but man, I'll clean up the prepping stuff in a heartbeat. We've got a designated area for it, and I love it because every time I finish, I have this just peace of mind that it just sweeps over me in this calmness, and I get so relaxed because I look and I say, you know what, Odinson, through minimal financial output, you have managed to provide tremendously for your family. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to know that, honestly, going through the stuff we have today, if I just read a report right before I come on air that, Kim Jong-un is now talking about the use of EMP weapons here against the U.S. And that's been a threat for a long time. I know it's kind of a thing that a lot of people don't talk about too much, and they think it's all just prepper porn, but EMPs are real shit. They've been talking about the danger of that for a long time. And I just saw where Kim Jong-un was talking about that. And you want to talk about something catastrophic. That would be absolutely catastrophic here in the U.S. But, if an EMP goes off, if Kim Jong-un decides to blow us out of the, start dropping nukes everywhere, if he can manage to launch one of those bottle rockets he's got over here, or a hurricane comes through, the New Madrid fault line goes, all of these different things like that, man. Barring something completely catastrophic to where our preps would be completely destroyed, and we do have contingencies for that as well, so, But barring something like that, we're sitting pretty. And that's through, it's not even like I full-time prepping, and it's really through minimal effort and minimal financial output. I've told people, $20 a week, $10 a week. That adds up, man. That adds up, and you could slowly start putting stuff back. But there's so many people that don't do it. So many people. If you listen to my last show, I discussed this at length in the episode, the members only episode on setting up your survival caches, and it's it's funny because I tell people there's such a difference in being prepared. I keep hearing this with the hurricane. Be prepared, be prepared. There's a difference in being prepared and being ready. There are many people I know that have a lot of shit, but they're not ready. They don't have contingency plans lined up. We have plans set up that even if something were to happen, catastrophic event that had us completely losing our home, we have contingencies set up for that. Supplies stored, places we can go, support networks all around that are already set up. This stuff was set up a long time ago for a reason. That's the difference. There's caches set up. Caches set up along the way. And I talk about the best way to set those things up in the members only show. So become a member. Patreon.com/the Barbarian Lounge. Costs you $1 per episode, $8 a month. Get off your ass. Give me some money. So, I mean, this isn't difficult to do. Yet here we are, once again, even after those two things I told you that's happened here in South Carolina. 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. Now, it looks like the way things are going, we're going to get some more this year. And what do I see? I see the same shit again. I see people scurrying around like scared little rabbits, running around trying to grab every little scrap of water they can. I saw a lady. I went down to the Dollar General store because I had a hankering for something sweet tonight. And while I'm grabbing some tasty sweets, there's people in there scrambling for water. I see a lady come up and she's got 4 kids with her and she grabs 24 case of water, tosses in her buggy. And walks away like, yep, I got enough. Let me tell you something. Water's not just for drinking, guys. You may be surprised exactly all the different things you may need water for. But people trip me out. And there's people still right now, even though right now, almost in this entire area, you cannot find a bottle of water anywhere. Water, bread, Vienna sausages. I laughed because I was getting some chicken broth as well. I like to give my dogs a little bit of chicken broth in their food. And I was getting some chicken broth, and I walked past the aisle there where they had the Vienna sausages, and like all the Viennas were gone. And I'm like, okay, well, at least we know what people are going to be eating, right? But it trips me out that even after all the stuff we've been through here, that people still freak out and don't have a shred of prepared stuff ready. I told somebody today, which I'm not going to say this over the air, but I told somebody over the air today, or told somebody in person today, we were talking about water, and I told them a roundabout figure about how much water I had, and they were completely staggered. And I'm like, this is stuff that we've been setting up for a long, long time. But, people act like you have to be this rich individual to become a prepper. A gallon of water, the Crystal Springs water that I like to get, and the reason I get that is because of the container, not so much the water. The water's good, but I like the container because those milk jug containers a lot of people store water in, they become very, very fragile just from sitting on the ground. These particular ones, the Crystal Springs ones, do not. That's a little pro tip for you there. But, they're $1 a gallon. You can seriously go each week, spend $5, get 5 gallons of water. By the end of the month, you've got 20 gallons of water. I mean, geez, it's not hard, guys. But yet, we see the same thing. And it's funny, because I had to laugh because I've seen people in their scrambling trying to find different items and buy this and buy that. I see people already in this panic state. And seriously, right now, in this state, our level of alert is we don't know. Nobody's going to know shit till about Saturday or Sunday exactly what's going to happen. And then Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be all hell. And I'm still hearing people today, even though I know that there's no shit around here for anyone to get, all the water's gone. There's still people who are like, well, I'm going to have to pick up some stuff Friday or Saturday. I'm going to have to pick it up Friday or Saturday, when I get paid. I was talking to a lady at the store, and I'd said something about, I was getting my stuff, and she said, I said, man, you guys got all that water gone, huh? And she's like, yeah. She's like, we put it out and it was gone in 30 minutes. And I was like, well, that's not a surprise. I said, I don't know why people wait the last minute. She's like, well, she said, I don't get paid till Friday, so I'm going to have to wait till the last minute. And I kind of, in my head, I'm chuckling because I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not quite sure you understand what I'm saying. Your level of preparedness should not depend on your next paycheck. Right? I'm going to get supplies when I get paid the next time. You should have been doing this a long time ago. That is the essence of the statement, right? When you hear people use the statement, there are no victims, only volunteers, that is a shining example of what we're talking about. But right now, what people are bitching about, and I've already seen things posted online where people are freaking out about it, and they're fussing about all of the people right now who have things, or like a store or a gas station, whatever it may be, they're fussing about price gouging. You know, all these people are price gouging. You see what they're doing? They're price gouging. I can't believe they're doing that. They up the price on this. There's a 24-pack of water, for like $27. Everybody's freaking out. When in reality, that's roughly about $1.50 a bottle, which is exactly about what you pay out of a vending machine. So, you know, all right. Nobody bitches about that, but everybody's bitching about $27 for a 24-pack. Yeah, it normally costs $2. Yeah, they raised the price. Here's the thing. Just in case you didn't know, that's what people do. That's human nature. In events like this, there is a clear line that gets drawn between wolves and sheep. Times of disaster, catastrophic in nature, natural, whatever it may be, these are the times where you see a clear separation between wolves and sheep. When you have, I look at it like this. Okay, so you've got this nice pen set up, right? There's a pen set up there, and all these sheep are in there. The sheep are the unprepared, unwashed masses. And outside this pen, you have wolves wandering around there. And the wolves wander around the pen all the time, just kind of eyeballing the sheep. They're looking at them, they're thinking, I'd sure like to drag one of those sheep right off into the woods. But that old farmer, he's out there, and there's that damn dog. I don't think I'm going to be able to get in there and get that sheep, so I'm going to wait. And the wolf just continues to circle the pen. He watches from the brush. He watches what's going on. And then one day, he notices the farmer left the gate open. Oops. The farmer left the gate open. So the wolf sneaks into the pen. The farmer leaves the gate open. The wolf realizes as he sneaks into the pen, he looks. Farmer's that went to town. Farmer's not home. Where's that damn dog? I think the dog went with him. I don't see him. So I'm just going to keep on going into this pen. I'm going to walk in here. And the sheep, they freak out. They're like, oh my God, there's a wolf. They all start running. But there's one little teeny small sheep. Just a precious little thing. Small as he could be, he's frail, he's weak. He has his legs hurt, he's got an injured leg, he can barely move. And while all the other sheep are scrambling, running, trying to save themselves, the wolf runs up and he grabs this weak, small, injured sheep. He grabs it in his mighty jaws, mauls it, and drags it off into the woods. So, having said all of that and that quite graphic story, who's the bad guy in that whole story there? It's a trick question. There is no bad guy. Why? The wolf is doing what the wolf does. A wolf is doing wolf shit, right? His job is to go in there, kill a sheep and eat it. The easier the meal, the better, right? That's less calories, less energy expended, less threat. Is it the dog and the farmer's fault? Shit happens. Maybe I didn't give the specifics of actually how the gate was left open, but you never know. Maybe the latch was faulty. Maybe it's the latch's fault. Who knows? Everybody's always looking for fault and things to blame, but the fact of the matter is that wolves are wolves and sheep are sheep. Predators will prey on the weak and the easy. They're looking for that easy meal. Always. A wolf is going to do wolf shit. A sheep is going to be a sheep. So I see all these people out there, all these people freaking out. They're losing their minds because they're seeing people selling water expensively. Last year, I remember there was some people after power was out here for a long time after the last one, and there were some guys selling generators that usually run $250, $300. They were selling them for like $3,000, and people were freaking out about it. And I remember my initial thought was a bit of a freak out. And this is I'm not going to go into specifics about this, but I had mentioned something about it online, and I actually got a contact from Tuhan Tom Kyer. And Suhan Tom talked to me a bit about it. And using that classic logical order of thinking, the LOT, he walked me through this, and I was just like, wow, okay, I have a clear understanding about what's happening here. Wolves are wolves and sheep are sheep. The sheep have chosen. Well, let me put it this way. When you're looking at the concept of wolves and sheep, if you look at the sheep, the actual animal sheep, he's born that way, right? He has no choice but to be a sheep. A sheep, the sheep can't magically decide, he can't play like most of these lefties today that believe you can just magically transform what you are, right? I am now trans wolf or some shit like that, right? The sheep cannot magically think to himself he's a wolf and make it work. It's not going to work. He's always going to be a sheep. However, we as human beings, we have the option of deciding whether or not we're going to be a sheep or we're going to be a wolf. And I think there's so many people. I think I talked earlier when I was talking about products and stuff, I talked about domestication. I think right now in this country we are facing a massive epidemic of domestication. There's an animal inside all men that must be exorcised, not exorcised. And many people, they don't realize that animal is either dead or dying. But in instances like this, you see that animal start rearing its teeth. But all these people that are out there, all these people I see bitching, I know these people. All these people I see out there crying and whining, oh, that's just horrible, I can't believe they're doing that. They have taken on the mindset of the sheep. They have chosen that path. They've chosen the path of being a dependent. They have chosen the path of waiting on someone to take care of them. That is their choice. And they will be treated as such. Understand this. The difference between them being a sheep and being a wolf is nothing but mindset. That's all it is. But they've chosen that path. It could change like that. I've seen it change for people. I've seen people make that choice and put the action into action, or put the words into actual action, and they become some of the strongest people I know. All because of a simple choice. A sheep can't change who he is, but you can. And there's so many people who are not willing to do that. And then when times of disaster come in, they think they can just, as they live their entire life as a sheep, walking day to day, bending to the will of other people, out there, yes sir, no sir, bowing down, watching what they say because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. They live their entire life as a sheep. Then they get into this disaster type situation and they're surrounded by wolves. The wolves actually come out of the woods now. Because hell, we're all in danger now. It's every motherfucker for himself. The wolves come out of the woods and the sheep are like, oh my God, what are these wolves doing here? I can't believe it. Somebody has to do something. And many times they turn to the sheepdog, right? I hate a lot of people in the prepper community and the three percenters and the militia and all these girls. Everybody likes to use the term I'm a sheepdog. I don't like that term. And I'm going to tell you why I don't like that term. Because you have to look at the nature of exactly what the sheepdog does. The sheepdog is not there just protecting the sheep from the wolves. No. You see, the sheepdog, he's there to protect them, but at the same time, the sheepdog's job is to keep the sheep in line. That's right. He tells the sheep, you know what? You're free to move around as much as you want to, but don't go there. Hey, slow down. You're going too fast. Right? Don't go in there. You can't have that. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. You can't own that. That's what the sheep does. Or the sheepdog does. And the sheepdog will nip at them, bite them even. Not damaging them, but enough to make them respect his authority. So the sheepdog not only is a protector, but he's also the enemy. He's also a danger to the sheep. They see him as someone who demands authority. You see, those sorts of people, those fit the line of your policemen. Those fit the line of your military to an extent. But see, that's not me. That's not my mentality. Because then, to take on the role of sheepdog, I now become attached to the whims of the sheep. If I am to be the sheepdog, my goal is to do whatever's possible to protect the sheep. Forget about myself. Forget about the other sheepdogs. I have a specific job that is deemed to me by the farmer to take care of the sheep. And that is what I do regardless. There's no sense of loyalty to anyone else but your job and your owner. That is not me. That is not me. A lot of people like that role of the whole, I'm a sheepdog. Not me. Not me. I'm not a sheepdog. I do not want to be attached to these people because I understand that I am different than them. It doesn't take long to go out and realize and just fucking talking to these people. And you realize how different you are than them. They're the ones out there scrambling right now. They're the ones fighting over gasoline. They're the ones scrambling at the last minute to fill their car up, saying, I'm going to have to wait till the weekend and hope there's something there, or, well, I'll just have to run to a shelter, or somebody's going to have to give me some food, and, I need some water. What am I going to do? Help me, help me, help me. That's a sheep. That's exactly what a sheep does whenever they sense danger on the horizon. Wolves, on the other hand, what does a wolf do? A wolf roams in a pack. He works together as a team with his other fellow wolves. Everything they do is based on a tribal mentality. They get food for the tribe, not for themselves. Food for the tribe. And there's a pecking order in that tribe. They live together. They work together, fight together, hunt together. They are the quintessential apex predator of the tribal community for the most part. That is what they do. And they will eat a sheep. They'll eat anything. They'll eat anything that's necessary in order for their tribe to survive. If you ask me, I think I fit that role a little bit better. I mean, I've seen it, and I see it every time, guys. I see it every single time something like this comes along. If you go back, you probably find me doing shows like this repeatedly. It is still just baffles me to see these things happen. Even when you look at like what was going on with Harvey down there in Texas. I mean, Texans have always prided themselves as being, independent and this and that. But at the end of the day, man, you look at all these people who are living in an area that is prone to getting bashed by a hurricane right there off the coast. And none of these people were ready for this. Hell, half of them didn't even have flood insurance. Completely unprepared. And what happens? They need help. Somebody come help me. Save me. Save me. Somebody come. I need some water. I need some food. I don't have anything. What am I going to do? Help me, help me. I don't speak English. We need more Spanish 911. I mean, the problems keep compounding. Whatever happened to the spirit of taking care of yourself? Whatever happened to the spirit of self-sufficiency? That domestication, it is spreading. It is spreading like a virus. It really is. Because let me tell you something. Everybody thinks that after all this goes down, and the government can put out all their little things. My state here, we declared a state of emergency. North Carolina's declared a state of emergency. Georgia has. I think Georgia has. I know that Florida has. All these places declare their states of emergency and all this stuff like that. That means jack shit for the most part. That's basically just telling everybody, get ready. Because let me tell you, Texas is a fine example. When the shit goes down, no one's coming to save you for a while. I remember seeing some of the floods, and there was a guy who had pretty much camped out on top of his truck. And who knows how long he had been there. He had an umbrella set up like a little small tent. There are people that had tents set up on their roofs in Texas. So that tells you they have been there a while. When the shit hits the fan, no one's coming to save you. All these other sheep, They're going to be running all over the place, trying to figure out what in the world to do because where's the farmer? The farmer's got to come save us. Where's the sheepdog? There's I don't know, 2.5 million sheep running around and maybe there's 1,000 sheepdogs. There's not going to be enough. If you're not ready to take on the mindset of the wolf, expect to be consumed. If you want to live your daily life as a sheep, man, don't be shocked when the wolves come knocking at your door. And I mean, hell, this doesn't even just translate over into just preparedness in general. I see people all the time. I work with people. I've been teaching martial arts for many years, just got right back into teaching it again. But I've taught firearms classes. I was an NRA certified instructor, second line concealed weapons instructor. I went through a lot of different training classes. I've taught martial arts. I've worked with law enforcement, helping them with stuff. And I see this stuff when I'm working with people and I'm teaching them some of these things. I say things to them that to me seem like the most basic mindset thing you could ever have. Like, I shouldn't even have to say it. And I'll say things to them and I see them just light up like, I never thought about that. Maybe it's just that I'm the consummate planner and I'm always preparing for this and planning for that and looking at this contingency and that contingency. It's just the way I've always been. I guess other people don't do that. For some reason, people think it takes a lot of mental calories to do that, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Not for me, it doesn't. Maybe for other people, I don't know. Maybe people don't have enough mental calories to spread around. I don't know. You guys need some nootropics, man. That's some good stuff. Excuse me, guys. But when I talk to people about general awareness and preparedness and things around them and things you shouldn't do when you're out in public, things you should do, when I talk to them about these things, you can see that the light's just going off like, wow, that's the most amazing info I've ever heard. And it's like, really? When I tell them don't go into a walk-up ATM, don't go to a walk-up ATM. I don't like to go to ATMs, period, even in your car. I can't tell you how many people I know of who have either been robbed or attempted robbed at their vehicle at the ATM. Oh, I got my gun. Let me tell you something. Most of these motherfuckers get the drop on you. You better have your awareness shoes on. Most people don't. Most people don't. Everybody thinks criminals are stupid. Criminals just walk up with a nice blinking shirt with lights on it, with a sign that says, I'm a criminal, and they walk up to you, and with the gun pointed, a shiny, nice, bright chrome gun, walking up towards you, so you can see it. And, they look like the classic criminal, right? They're dressed in that criminal garb. That's not the way it works. But so many people, man, they make silly little mistakes. Like people with their cell phones. I can't tell you how many people. I was sitting waiting on my wife the other day. She was coming out of work, and one of her people was coming out, and they were walking their vehicle. I watched them. This is a female, a fairly young, attractive female coming out of this place, and this is a bad part of town. Okay, it's one of those places that when I sit and wait, I have my gun in my lap, not in my holster. Okay, so I watched this girl come out the door. She walks out the door. Her head is down with her cell phone. She's looking at her cell phone, and she walks all the way down the walkway there, gets to the road, hangs a right, walks all the way past my car with me sitting in it, engine running, walks all the way past to her car, gets in. Never once did she lift her head from her phone. I'm telling you, that is a sheep waiting to be snatched by a wolf. And this same individual I'm talking about, I saw a post from them today where they were one of those people scurrying around town. Where's the water? I can't find the water. Where's the water at? Oh no! Where's the gas? Ah! It's like, what do you expect? You live your daily life as a sheep. You're waiting on the farmer to always have the food ready to drop in the trough for you, but the farmer ain't there today. What are you gonna do? That sheep, he has no choice but to be a sheep. You are making the choice to be a sheep. Let me tell you something. The shit hit the fan. I guarantee you. If those sheep could talk and you say, tell you what, would you rather spend this day as a sheep or a wolf? He'd be like, please, a wolf. Oh my God, I don't want to be a sheep anymore. Let me be a wolf, please, please, please. But they don't have that option. And it just amazes me how many people go about their daily lives just completely in the clouds. Well, you know, the thing is you have to expect at this point in time, when you're seeing when you're seeing the wolves completely uncloak and show who they are. Here I am, and I'm going to take advantage of you. It's not their fault. You can be mad all you want to. If you're mad at them, it's probably because you're a sheep or a sheepdog. You know, it's funny. I have to tell you this. I watched some people whom would surprise me. Some people who would fall into the category of a constitutionalist, or they would be someone who is they're against big government, right? They would be anti-big government type people. And then whenever these things start happening, this price gouging, all this stuff like that, they start going, oh man, this is just wrong. Somebody's got to do something about this. You know, they need to put a cap on there saying you can only get this much stuff. And then I read that and I say, well, are you against big government or for big government? Because you kind of got to make up your mind, right? I mean, you can't have it both ways. Well, you know, I want big government in some things and small government in others. Well, that's kind of what we got right now. So you're saying the system right now that you go out and protest about all the fucking time, you're saying the system right now is perfect because that's what you want. Well, you know, it's not so it ends up being this completely vicious cycle where they can't decide what they want. Big government, no big government. Which one do you want? Because you can try to legislate morality all you want to, but that's not the way it's going to play out. You cannot legislate morality. What the fuck is morality anyway? Morality is something that is judged by the individual who's probably having some bad shit done to them or seeing bad shit done to other people. I mean, morality is completely subjective to the norms of society, right? Something that I would deem as moral, if society deems it immoral, well, who's correct in that? Right? It's kind of like the good and bad. And if something is good for you, it may be bad for me. The only reason it's bad for me is because I don't approve of it. It's not helping me in any way. You know, it's like the whole thing with the DACA thing, right? The canceling the dreamers. For me, I'm like, yeah, fuck. I mean, round them up. Let's get them out of here. You know, let's restore rule of law here. And then, you know, for the people that are getting booted out, I don't deny for 1 second that things are going to be good for them. No, it's not. It's not going to be good for you. You got to go back to that shithole you left. And you have sat here and you've reaped the rewards of that which is America. You've reaped the rewards. You've been here 20, 30 years, enjoying everything you can get here, while not becoming a citizen in the process. Now it's time to go back. Perhaps when you go back, you should clean up your nation instead of running from it. So, I mean, you know, for them, hell, as far as I'm concerned, it's a great thing. For them, not so good. It's a bad thing. Good and bad. Subjective. Completely subjective. To the individual who's out selling, you know, generators for $3,000. A generator, let me just tell you this. I'm just a little prep rant here. I don't care what you say, a generator is not a essential piece of equipment for preparedness. Of all the shit we've been through ice storms, 2 floods, where we were without power for weeks. Never once did I say, damn, I wish we had a generator. Never once. Never needed it. I know people got freezers full of meat and all this shit like that, but at the end of the day, I mean, the generator is one, it's a big flashing, shining beacon that says, look at me, I have power, which means I probably have food and I have a lot of things here. Every time something bad happens, generators fire up, I can tell you where every single one of them are at. And every time I hear them fire up, I know immediately, you know what, if shit gets really bad, that person's got stuff. Oh, well, you're not talking about going and taking somebody's stuff, are you? Well, I'd never do that. That would be something a wolf would do. Right? That would be something a wolf would do. I mean, of course I wouldn't do that because, let's be honest, if my family's starving, right? If my family's starving, I would rather just let them all starve to death. I'd rather see my children not eat. I'd rather see my babies starve. I'd rather see all that happen than take something from a sheep, now wouldn't I? I'm sure you would too, right? There's a lot of people that think that way. A lot more than you know. Let me tell you something. Anybody you've ever talked to about preparedness that has laughed and joked and said, I'm just going to come to your house and kill you and take yours. Anybody that's joked about that, I don't take that as a joke. That's a fucking threat as far as I'm concerned. That's a threat. Oh, I've known this guy forever. Really? Are you sure? You sure? There's a difference between friends and acquaintances. I have a lot of acquaintances and very few friends. Anybody that says that shit to me is not a friend. Let me tell you something. They come knock on my door the day after, I'm gonna remember all that shit, and they're gonna get met with a pistol to the face. Plain and simple. So we have to understand, in times like these, there's going to be a clear definition, clearer than any other time, between wolves and sheep. It amazes me to this day that there's so many people who have chosen that mindset of the sheep. Me, I adopt the wolf. Because, guys, I'm in it to win it. I'm in it for my people. I'm in it for my tribe. I'm in it for my network. I'm in it for the people who are in it with me. I'm not no fucking sheepdog. I'm not a sheepdog. I'm not here for to bend to the will and protect these unwashed masses who are out there who don't take any time throughout their daily lives, throughout the rest of the year to prepare, even though they know that dangers are on the horizon. It's like somebody asked me the other day, they said, you prepping for Irma? I said, I don't prepare because a disaster pops up on the radar. I prepare because disasters exist. That's why I prepare. I've chosen the mindset of the wolf. I reject it, and I mock the mindset of the sheep because that is what it deserves. That's what it deserves. And people come to me and they say, Odinson, but what about morality? Don't you have any morality? Yeah, sure I do. Absolutely I do. I have it for my people. You see, I don't have enough morality for all of you. I know that hurts a lot of people's feelings. I know they say, God, this guy, man, he's just something else. Trust me, I've been called worse. A lot worse. But I don't have time for them. When people come to me and they cry, didn't you see the dead baby that washed up when the refugee boat went down and the dead baby washed up on the shore? I said, yeah, and I don't really care. Why? Because those aren't my people. I wonder how some people live. I wonder how some people are able to function, have enough blood in their body to power their brain to think. I wonder how some of these people even go around because there's such bleeding hearts. There's blood pouring out of their heart all day long because there's such a bleeding heart crybaby for every little whim that comes along. I mean, I think about I told people before, if I had the choice of feeding some starving people that came to my property. They came to me and said, look, man, we're starving. We've run out of food, blah, blah, blah. If it was to feed them or feed my dogs, guess who's getting fed first? The fucking dog. Why? Because the dog, I know he's loyal. He's a worker. And he's been with me a lot longer than you guys. For most people that I've met, most of these sheep that I speak of, I wouldn't give a bucket of piss for their future when it compares to my animals. And that's the thing. Right now, so many people in this world, their hearts are just bleeding for everyone, and they're stretching way out and they're reaching just as far as they can to try and help everybody. I can tell you right now, you do not have that in you. That is why this nation's been falling apart. That is why we have failed the next generation. That is why Antifa has risen, because you've all been reaching all outside of these borders, well outside the walls, well outside of your tribes, well outside of your people to help others who do not deserve your help. I tell you that I can tell right now, I pause a second because I can feel many of you who are still there. I can feel your backlash. I can feel it welling up, that emotion inside of you. There's the problem. People are driven so much these days by their emotions. So much. They don't sit down and rationally think about these things. They don't really truly sit down and think about it. I remember when I'm teaching some firearms classes, I tell people one of the scenarios I would always walk them through, I give them a lot of mental scenarios just to kind of see where their minds are at. And, I would give them the scenario of, all right, you're in a mall, walking through the mall, and you see a guy pull out a gun and start screaming, Allah Akbar, right? He starts shooting. Could you draw your pistol and kill that man? And everyone's like, fuck yeah, America, right? Everyone can do that. And I say, okay. Same scenario, but now it is a pregnant woman. Can you do it? Could you still do it? And you'll see a slight bit of hesitation. But most of them, not all, most of them will say yes. And I say, same scenario. Now it's a child, a 7-year-old little boy. Can you do it? And I can see the physical discomfort start to come over their bodies. Then I'll say, same scenario. It's a 5-year-old little girl. Could you do it? And you can see I see people who are just gung-ho. I see them shaking their head and I say, what changed? What changed? There's something inside of you that deemed this no longer a threat or no longer worth using force to stop. What changed? For many of them, it's emotion. A lot of people have kids. I have kids. I understand. But I also understand that taking that shot and putting them down is for my kids. It's so my kids can flourish. So many people, man, they've stretched out. They've stretched so far out, and they're trying to get their arms nice and wide so they can just give the whole world a big fat hug, right? Just want to give the world a hug and squeeze it. You gather that many people in your arms, it's a good way to get stabbed in the gut. I think America's gotten stabbed in the gut for many, many years now. And when you see a guy come in like Trump, who is pushing this agenda of, we're going to get shit done, fuck your emotions. He's not as unemotional as I would hope him to be, but for the most part, he's trying to get shit done. And what is stopping him? Bleeding hearts. Crybabies. That's just not fair. Life's not fair. Figure something out. And here, man, with the hurricane freak out that's going on right now. The hurricane freak out. Everyone is crying, upset, they're panicking. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus save us. Jesus save us. Let's pray. Let's pray. Me being the cynic I am, I'm like, pray to who? The God that's going to stop it, or the God that created it? Is that the same person? What are we going, what's happening here? Is this God's wrath? What's going on? I guess that's just me being a cynical asshole. But, hell, that's what the whole show's been, right? But we've got to come to terms with this. It's the same reason I give graphic scenarios like I did for some of the people I've taught in firearms. The reason I give those is I want you to think about it. I want you to really sit down and hash these things out in your minds. Because I can tell you something. Even if I take disasters and sweep it off the table and forget I was talking about hurricanes and all this stuff if I sweep all that stuff off the table and I move you into your business life, right? Your job. Me, I run businesses. But many people have jobs. I've had jobs in the past. When you step into that job, same thing. Are you a sheep or are you a wolf? Which one are you? If you're a sheep, you go along to get along, just get your paycheck. Man, I just want to get my paycheck, want to go home, drink a few beers, watch some TV, eat some pizza, go to bed. Maybe I'll roll over on my wife every now and then, roll off, and then rinse, repeat, do it all over again. Get to the weekend, I got my time off, I could watch me some football and eat some chicken wings and hang out with the guys, drinking some beer where we'll talk about football, maybe even play some fantasy football, something like that. Is that you? Or are you somebody that whatever position you walk into, your goal is to move to the top? Do you attack your job in a way so that you may climb to something better? What do? I hear people cry about Monday. Oh, Monday's here. Fuck Monday. When I see Monday, I punch Monday in the face, kick it in the gut, pick it up, power bomb it, plant my foot on it, and stick a black flag in its chest. And say, I have conquered Monday. And I look at Tuesday, and Tuesday's sitting in the corner shivering, going, oh shit. And I go, yep, that's right, you're next. Wolf or sheep? Because let me tell you something. My goal with the mindset of the wolf is to consume every sheep that gets in my way. Every little beta weak ass sheep that steps up, that thinks they're going to block me, they get consumed. And then if I meet another wolf, well, then it's time to see who gets to lead this pack. But it's all about choice, guys and gals. It's all about choice. And it's time for you to start making one. Time for you to start making one in your life. Not tomorrow, not a few weeks from now, today. Right now, as you're listening to this show, you need to make a decision. What are you going to be? Well, you know, my job, man, I can't get out of my job right now. That's fine. I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm telling you to start fighting and start attacking it like a wolf. You'll recognize the sheep around. You know them right now. If you think about your job, you think about where you want to be, you know where the sheep are. Many times when I supposedly had the position of sheep, an underling in a job, I walk in and just take over. Well, I'll give you a prime example real quick before I knock this off here real quick of being a wolf. So, I stepped into a security firm, working as a lowly security officer, okay? I stepped in there, working as a security officer and working my, I was working for $8, so working for $8 an hour as a lowly security guard with a bunch of other people, and I'm working, okay? Well, the guy who was over the place, the supervisor, he had a stroke. He had a stroke, and they called me because I'm the guy that was supposed to come in after him. They called me because he was working the shift before me. They called me and they said, "Hey, Odinson, so and so's had a stroke. We need you to take his shift."